the last man on Earth. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Welcome to the Book of Recaps. The story kicks off at Michigan State University, where we meet Kate, an astronomy PhD student who's working on her project. One day, while observing the sky through her telescope, she spots something unusual. Looking closely, she realizes it's a comet, and she's stunned. No one has ever spotted this comet before. Excited about her discovery, Kate calls her professor, Dr. Mindy. He's thrilled too and begins researching and gathering all the information he can find. At first, they celebrate the find, but as they dig deeper, they discover something terrifying. This massive comet is heading straight for Earth at high speed, and if it hits, it could destroy the entire planet. Mindy keeps this information quiet at first, focusing on his research. Eventually, he calculates that the comet will collide with Earth in precisely 6 months and 14 days. To confirm their findings, he contacts NASA and a guy named Teddy, who heads the Planetary Defense Coordination Office, a group tasked with monitoring such events. Soon, NASA verifies everything, and panic sets in. Teddy urges Kate and Mindy to come to Washington, as they need to inform the president right away. The three of them head to the White House, but when they arrive, they are told they'll have to wait. No one there seems interested in hearing about the impending disaster. While they wait, a general comes by, handing them snacks and water, but he charges them money, claiming nothing is free in the White House. They pay, but later, when Kate goes to get more snacks, she finds out that everything is actually free. Furious at being scammed, she tells Mindy and Teddy about it, baffled as to why such a high-ranking officer would do that. Finally, they are called in to meet the president, who is accompanied by her son, Jason. They are given just 10 minutes to explain. Mindy struggles to convey the gravity of the situation, so Kate steps in and reveals that the comet is on a collision course with Earth and will wipe out everything. But instead of taking them seriously, the president laughs it off, asking how certain they are. Mindy responds with 100%, but the president just jokes about it, dismissing their findings. She doubts their research and even questions how many people have confirmed it. Mindy explains that they've already spoken with NASA, but the president remains skeptical, saying they'll look into it again. At this point, Kate loses her temper and tries to emphasize the threat, but the president insists they can't act now, as it could affect upcoming elections. She tells them to wait until she decides the next steps. Frustrated, Kate, Mindy, and Teddy leave. Teddy suggests they take their findings to the media, hoping to reach the public that way. They head to a news channel, but even there, no one takes them seriously. The news staff insists that they present their information in a way that doesn't scare people and keeps the audience entertained. This infuriates Kate and Mindy, as they know the world is on the brink of destruction, but all anyone cares about is ratings. The media trainers even tell them they need media training before they go live. Annoyed but with no other choice, they agree. During this time, Kate's boyfriend comes by and she fills him in on what's happening. Meanwhile, Mindy talks to his family, his wife and 2 sons, but doesn't share the full details just yet. Eventually, their media training ends, and the day arrives for them to go live. Mindy, feeling the stress, takes medication before the show. On air, he faces 2 hosts, Jack and Bree, who start asking questions. Mindy tries to explain the scientific details, describing how the comet will hit Earth in 6 months, but the hosts keep things light, not allowing the seriousness of the situation to sink in. Frustrated, Kate loses her patience and starts yelling, declaring that in 6 months, everyone on Earth will die if nothing is done. She storms off the set in tears. Mindy tries to salvage the situation, but the damage is done, and the show ends with the hosts making light of the topic. Despite Mindy's best efforts, the media and public start mocking Kate, calling her crazy. Memes flood the internet, and the attention shifts away from the comet. Meanwhile, the head of NASA makes a public statement denying the comet's threat, further undermining Mindy and Kate's credibility. Mindy, furious, points out that the woman isn't even an expert. She's an anesthesiologist, not an astronomer. Meanwhile, the president's scandal leaks, and her inappropriate behavior becomes a hot topic in the news. The FBI soon arrests Kate, Teddy, and Mindy, bringing them to the president. She finally admits that the comet is real and they have a plan to launch a nuclear strike to destroy it. They announce this to the public, and Mindy receives widespread praise, overshadowing Kate. Bree, one of the reporters, starts an affair with Mindy. On the day of the mission, everyone gathers to watch the nuclear launch. Just before the attack, a wealthy man named Peter, who funds the president's campaign, arrives and pulls her aside. Moments later, the launch is aborted, and all the weapons return. Everyone is shocked. It turns out Peter had convinced the president to let the comet hit Earth so that they could mine it for valuable elements worth trillions. Peter argues that these resources would create jobs and transform industries, but Mindy is horrified, pointing out that if the comet hits, they may not survive to benefit from the money. Peter dismisses him, insisting that their Nobel Prize-winning scientists know what they're doing. Disillusioned, Mindy tells Kate and Teddy everything. They're furious, but when they discuss this at a restaurant, people start listening. Kate becomes enraged again, accusing the government of prioritizing profit over humanity's survival. Word spreads fast, and the FBI arrests Kate, giving her two choices: face life imprisonment or sign an agreement never to speak about the comet again. She reluctantly signs. Kate tries to visit her parents, but they refuse to let her in, saying they support the government's plan as it might end their unemployment. Disheartened, Kate leaves. Meanwhile, Mindy's wife finds out about his affair and ends their relationship. Kate takes a job at a supermarket where she meets a young guy named Yule who recognizes her. He tells her that he admires her bravery for standing up against the government. But Kate finds it all a joke. Yule insists he's serious and mentions that he stole a lot of liquor bottles since they're broke. He even offers her the chance to call the police. Kate responds that there's no need, and she lets him take the bottles. Yule then invites her to a party that night, telling her where they'll be. Next, we see Mindy examining Peter's equipment. He begins to doubt its effectiveness and realizes their plan might fail, dooming the entire planet. Mindy criticizes Peter's equipment, which angers Peter. He threatens Mindy, saying he could make him disappear if he wanted to. Mindy, feeling the pressure, stays quiet. Yule and his friends are partying, and Kate shows up. She and Yule get close, and they become intimate. Then we see Mindy again, appearing on live news. The anchors bombard him with questions, clearly trying to manipulate the audience. Mindy loses his temper and starts shouting, urging everyone to wake up because they're all going to die. He accuses the government of toying with their lives, warning that the world's end is near unless they act immediately. Meanwhile, Kate is on a rooftop with Yule, and she spots the comet in the sky, now dangerously close to Earth. Mindy, also seeing the comet as he heads home, is shocked. He realizes it's almost time and tells everyone that the comet's approach is undeniable and the government is still doing nothing. The whole world is now divided. Some support Mindy and Kate, raising their voices against the government, while others trust the government's words, advising people to stay calm and not look at the sky. Teddy informs Mindy that America had previously excluded China, India, and Russia from their plan, refusing to share any resources from the comet. Furious, these countries tried to break the comet themselves, but their mission failed. Teddy reveals this as a warning that America's attempt will likely fail too. Hearing this, Mindy loses hope. He tells Kate and Yule to come to his house, and they all head there together. During their journey, Yule proposes to Kate, saying he wants to marry her before the world ends. Kate is touched, feeling happy for the first time in days. They continue their way to Mindy's home. Meanwhile, the president and Peter initiate their mission, launching missiles into space. As Mindy arrives home, he sees his wife and apologizes. His children are thrilled to see him, and Mindy realizes his wife hadn't told them anything. She forgives him, and Mindy promises to stay with them forever. Back at the mission control, the president and Peter watch their machines approach the comet, but one by one, the machines are destroyed. Their problems keep escalating. On the other side, Teddy joins Mindy's family, Kate, Yule, and the rest as they share what they know could be their last meal. Despite the circumstances, they decide to make the most of their final moments, enjoying their time together and praying. Peter and the president finally realize their mission has failed. Peter says he needs to use the restroom, and the president follows, making excuses. They both flee, and everyone realizes the president has abandoned them. Panic sets in, as people rush to find their families. Jason, the president's son, sits alone, waiting for his mother to come back for him. Mindy gets a call from the president, who is now on a flight. She apologizes and admits their end is near, regretting not listening to him earlier. She explains they are fleeing to a nearby planet that has been under research, and there's room for him if he wants to come. Mindy refuses, saying he is content on Earth with his family and will take his last breath there. The president remembers Jason only after mentioning him, realizing she forgot her son. After the call, Mindy returns to the table and everyone holds hands, praying. As they finish, the comet hits the Earth. The impact destroys everything: forests, cities, and people. Chaos and destruction unfold everywhere, and the Earth is obliterated. Time skips to 22,740 years later, where we see another planet similar to Earth, complete with oxygen and greenery. The president, Peter, and others land on this new planet. As they explore, the president encounters a beautiful animal called a Bronte dog. But as she approaches it, the creature attacks and kills her. The planet is filled with these deadly creatures, and they quickly eliminate the rest of the people, erasing all traces of humanity. Back on Earth, the destruction seemed complete, but Jason emerges from the ruins, declaring himself the last person alive. He takes a selfie, and the film ends.